everybody. Welcome to Week in Review. My name is Tom Vasel, and this is basically going to go back to the last week and tell you about the reviews that we did and quick short blurbs of them. Now, because of Delta, last week's board game breakfast and Week in Review were missed, so this is going to be covering 2 weeks worth of material, so we better get started right now.
Hi folks, this week the Family Showdown reviewed 2 games. The first one was Dragonwood. This is a light family weight fun game of set collection and dice rolling to attack and kill monsters for victory points.
We also looked at My Village. It's a great card drafting game where you roll dice and you use those dice to purchase cards to build out your village. It has an interesting mechanism where your villagers age and die. Sounds morbid, but still fun. Check them out.
Hello everyone, this is Meeple Talk, and we reviewed Spirits of the Rice Paddy this week. It's the hex-based game where your farmer's trying to grow rice and hopefully harvest as much as possible to get the best coinage. I found this game was a little bit cumbersome due to a bit of an overly designed package. I would give it a 5 out of 10.
Yes, I found the rules that were a little fiddly and hard to follow. It kind of got in the way of the enjoyment of the game. I do like the theme, though. I give it a 5.5.
Well, come check out our full review. We'll see you soon.
Hey folks, Z Garcia here. Welcome back to Week in Review. Let's recap. I recently did a comparison video between the new version of Raw, the one from Wind Rider Games, to a previous version that I had. This is the Uber Play version of the game. I did a compare and contrast of these two, so go check that out if you want to hear my thoughts on the game as well as have an up-close look at it and the old version as well. I did a review of 7 Ronan coming out from Grey Fox Games. And this one is a 2-player game, which is very asymmetrical, which is one thing I really like about it. But it has a couple of issues with the production itself. Some of the tokens in the game are really, really tiny. Some of the graphical choices I was not entirely on board with. And so, for me, it was just okay. But if you are someone that is really interested in the theme and you love games that are asymmetrical, then this is probably one you want to check out. Very quick game. Plays well. It's got a decent flow to it, but again, I had a couple of small issues with it. And then finally, I reviewed the new version of Mr. Jack, which is a 10th anniversary edition, and I already adored the new one. This one is even better. It has a brand new look, which is great, but I already like the look of the first one. But it's the board. They did some changes to the playing board, and it is amazing. Still a fantastic game if you have not played Mr. Jack. This is also a wonderful 2-player, also asymmetrical game that I think is going to wow you if you have never given it a shot. So definitely take a look at it. Mr. Jack 10th Anniversary Edition. And that is it for me. I will see you next time.
Hey folks, welcome back to another Week in Review. It's been a couple weeks, so I've got 2 weeks of stuff to go over, so let's go ahead and do that. Not a whole lot, but still, during the week at Gen Con, I was able to do 3 reviews. That was, first of all, Airflix Battles, an Introductory War game. So it actually does live up to its name. It's a very light entry point to the traditional war game setting. So if that's what you're looking for a very light, simple, easy first step into the traditional war game, this is probably where you might look. It's a little bit, if you know anything about Airflix, they have their own miniatures line. The box doesn't have any miniatures in it, so don't expect that. But the system is good, and the rulebook is well written, so go ahead and give that a whirl. I was also able to do Ogre Objective 218. This is a reskin of the Battle for Hill 218 from a few years ago. They've taken the Ogre IP and slapped it on there, and it works really well. It's a very good back and forth 2-player game, so go check that out as well. Then I was also able to do Black-Handed Henry's Potion Party. It's a little dice rolling game, really, put with a push your luck mechanism where you're trying to get the most ingredients to finish Black-Handed Henry's potion to be the first one to do that. So go check that out. I didn't really like it that much, but I don't know, maybe you will. Go check it out. And then during the week of Gen Con, Rope Punch Lunch was actually released, so there's another one of those out there. It's called The Calm Before the Storm because it was put together while pretty much everybody was getting ready to go to Gen Con, so that's why I named it that way. Really has no bearing on what's actually in the episode. I just thought it was a cool name. But go check that out. It has some really cool content in it. And then last week, after we got back from Gen Con and all of the snafu that happened with Delta and losing our luggage and all that kind of stuff, we buckled down and pumped out no less than 4 Miami Dice reviews. So we did, first of all, we did Ticket to Ride Rails and Sails, which is it's the newest installment in the Ticket to Ride universe, and I actually did not dislike it. It's probably one of my least favorite in the line of Ticket to Ride games, but I did enjoy it. So go check out that review. Other guys were not so keen. We also did one for Bloodborne, a new card game by Eric Lane from Cool Mini or Not. Tom and I really enjoyed it. Z did not, and go watch the review, see how it plays, make your own decision. Then we also did one for Pandemic, The Reign of Cthulhu, the new Cthulhu-themed Pandemic game that came out here recently, and it was not bad. For me, it's just simply another way to play Pandemic with a theme wrapped around it. So go check it out. And we were also able to do our first impressions look at Seafall. Now, when we recorded this one, we had only played the prologue and the first game after the prologue. We have since played a second game, but we're going to play some more before we come back and revisit episode 200B. So anyway, those are the videos that we did last week. And, of course, you'll have more coming up this week. See you on the flip side.
All right, so a lot of games I went over the last couple weeks. We'll start with Gnip Gnop, which is, as I just found out the other day, it's ping pong backwards. I never knew that. Anyway, this is a game, an old game where you press buttons and try to hit balls through holes. It's an entertaining thing that's really fun for about 5 minutes, and it's just not worth buying for only 5 minutes of fun. Ticket to Ride Rails and Sails. I really thought I would love this one, and I've played it multiple times trying to find my enjoyment of it. Did not like it that much. It's way too long, seems a bit more lucky, a lot more involvement, and doesn't give enough fun ratio. In fact, I just kind of was drained after each playing. Exceed is a cool 2-player fighting game from level 99, which has a lot of similarities to another fighting game they have, BattleCon. In fact, it has so many similarities that while I think the game itself is very fine, I would never play it over BattleCon, thus it's getting only a 6, maybe rather than an 8, which I might normally give it. Machi Koro, Bright Lights Big City. This is the Target exclusive I talked about earlier. This is kind of a redoing of Machi Koro. It adds in expansions, stuff into it. It takes a lot of the good ideas. It plays more smoothly, and I enjoy it. Not as much as I did when I first played Machi Koro. I think the system's starting to not be as exciting for me as time goes by, but still pretty cool, and this is the best version of Machi Koro on the market. Wombat Rescue, this is a very puzzly style game where you're going to be dropping poop cubes basically on the board to create areas where you can move your wombat mother to go rescue her babies. And so it's a very thinky game as you're trying to put things out there, the best way to make its efficiency to get your wombat there and back. Enjoyable game there. Roar-a-Saurus, this is just a fun, fast dice-playing game where you roll dice really quickly to smash the other people next to you. And it's best played with the advanced version where you can upgrade and get armor against the people next to you or make your attacks stronger against them or hit everybody. Simple, fun little game. Kill Dr. Lucky, the 19-and-a-half-year anniversary edition. Looks very classy. It is classy. It's still the same game as it used to be, although they've added some rules to it where when you fail to kill Dr. Lucky, you get basically an advantage to kill him next time, which I think is a very good positive thing for the game. An excellent version, Kill Dr. Lucky. Liguria, which looks boring, but it's not. In fact, I really enjoy this game because you're drafting tiles and you're drafting cards. And I think the combination of getting those tiles and cards is a really entertaining thing because you're trying to get maybe a good card that helps you, but then you don't get as good at tiles. There's a turn order here. And the whole theme about delivering die cubes from one island to the other, whatever. The game would be much higher rated if it had a more engaging theme, but and even look. But despite all that, I was very surprised and enjoyed Liguria. Brynk, this is a dexterity style game where you're going to stack things and not make them fall. That's not unusual, but what makes Brynk different is it has a nice rounded base where it floats and glides along as you try not to make things fall. Very unique in that aspect. Watch my review if you want to see how that works. Pandemic Cthulhu. I'm kind of, I really enjoy it. It's a good version of Pandemic Cthulhu. I don't like it as much as Z does, but I think it's a solid variant style of Pandemic. It's, if you like Cthulhu, of course you will love it. It's a bit tighter. It's a bit quicker, I think. It has a slight bit more randomness in it, but that kind of works with the theme. It's also very beautiful production. Get Rich Quick. Yes, I really like this game. This is a game in which you have cards in your hand, and you are playing these cards, trying to outthink the other players to get money, and then when you get money, you'll buy special powers to give you better cards. A very simple game, but I think it will work really well. Might even hit the mass market. Ticket to Ride First Journey. This is a Target exclusive, and this is a kids game version of Ticket to Ride, and I like it so very much because my kids, some people say Ticket to Ride's a kids game. Whatever, it's not. Come play me and I'll show you if it's a kids game or not. Ticket to Ride First Journey, though, is a kids game and teaches kids some basic mechanisms like collecting sets and making paths. I really enjoy it. Bloodborne, I really like this one, and apparently my review does not make clear how much I like this one. Some people have accused me of being a Lang fanboy. I am not. I don't like the theme of this game at all, the Dark Souls universe, but I do enjoy this game because I really like outguessing other players, buying and upgrading my hand, playing cards, and seeing what happens. To me is a hilarious, super fun, it's a little chaotic, but super fun game, Bloodborne. Role Player. This is about making the best D&D character that you possibly can. That's the whole game, is about creating a character. And that sounds like, it's very meta. It is meta, but the gameplay itself is a solid, cool one with some neat ideas of rolling dice and such, so I like it. Loony Quest. This is basically based on Doodle Quest, where you're going to be drawing on basically transparencies, looking at a picture, trying to avoid some things, trying to hit other things, drawing circles, dots. Really cool. And this one takes the place on kind of a video game aspect, so that's neat. Clank. Wow, this one kind of came out of nowhere. It was a deck building game that was announced that came from Renegade Games, and I was like, well, okay, we'll try another deck building game. I started playing it. I said, it's kind of like Ascension. Yeah, it is kind of like Ascension. It's like Ascension where you go through a dungeon and find things, and then you have to get out before you die. And ooh, this is really interesting. And while there's really nothing super groundbreaking in this game other than the Clank mechanism, which is pretty cool, it just resonated with me. I played it. I'm like, let's play it again. Ooh, let's play it again. Really solid game. And then finally, Seafall. You'll notice there's no rating here for Seafall because I don't know what we think of it yet. In our review of it, we basically called it First Impressions, where we just took a look at Seafall. There's a prologue and a first game. Neither one of those really grabbed me that much. They were okay. I have since played the second game, and so my opinion of Seafall has improved dramatically since that point. So you'll see that as time goes by. I do not know what my final rating of it will be. I'm sure we'll find out eventually. So that's that. And that's all the different reviews I did this week. I also took a look at the years 2000. For the last 2 weeks, I did 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005. I did some videos where I played some games with my kids on Periscope and then put those together and posted those. And there's also a lot of Gen Con, especially with our 360 camera that you can see from Gen Con. So a lot of fun things that were on our channel over the last couple weeks. We're going to try to pump out more content this week. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, everyone. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel. You've been watching Week in Review on the Dice Tower.